Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is rated PG-13 for sequences of sci-fi action and violence, language, and brief suggestive content. It is 2 hours and 16 minutes and is the sequel to 2014's Guardians of the Galaxy and stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Dave Bautista, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, Michael Rooker, Karen Gillan, Sylvester Stallone, and Kurt Russell. Without giving too much away, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 really focuses on the character of Peter Quill and where he came from, what his heritage is, while the Guardians of the Galaxy have to take down a new threat to the galaxy and save the galaxy once again. Now, I'm a huge fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm actually wearing a Guardians of the Galaxy shirt. I have Guardians of the Galaxy on Blu-ray. It was a smash hit that I didn't think was going to be all that good. I thought it looked terrible from the trailers, and then I saw it when it came out in the summer of 2014, and I was like, that was damn good. So I was really excited for the sequel and kind of bummed out when some of the YouTube movie critics, like myself, I saw that some of them were kind of giving this bad reviews. I was like, oh, I don't know about this movie. And then I saw the Rotten Tomatoes score, the Metacritic score, gave me a little bit more hope for the movie. And I gotta tell you guys, I walked out of this movie, had a damn blast. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, it's not... Here's the thing. It does suffer from what I like to call sequelitis. Sequelitis is this. The sequel to a movie tries to be bigger and better. This movie is bigger. It's not necessarily better. But damn it, it is damn fun. To me, what made the original Guardians of the Galaxy so good wasn't the villain or the plot or the action scenes. It was the characters, and that really carries over into Guardians of the Galaxy 2. The characters are the strong point of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. James Gunn gives the characters a lot more depth in this movie, especially Star-Lord. This movie hinges on Star-Lord and his relationship with his father, played by Kurt Russell. If the movie had failed in that aspect, this movie would have failed. And I'm glad that it was successful in that aspect, and that focusing on Star-Lord so much didn't take away from the fun we were having with the other characters of the Guardians of the Galaxy. They were still in it, even though they weren't the central focus, but every time they were on screen, everybody was just doing all the good things that they did in the first one. There were a couple characters in this movie that went to waste. One of them was a Guardian of the Galaxy, and that was Drax. Drax didn't really have much to do, and I was kind of disappointed, because Drax was one of my favorite parts of the first one. When he's on screen, he's really good, he's cracking jokes, but he's not given much to do. It's mostly the others given all the stuff to do. He really just does something at the beginning, chills for the rest of the movie, and then they give him a little bit of something to do at the end, and that's it. I was like, you could have done more with Drax. The wasted opportunity was Sylvester Stallone. Stallone should have been kicking ass in this movie. Instead, he's in 2 scenes. Doesn't do a damn thing. He does not kick ass. The end of the movie sets it up so that he's going to be in more of the third one, but I was like, you shouldn't need that. He should have been in this one as much as he's probably going to be in the third one. So, yeah, that was a big problem I had. It didn't piss me off in this movie, although Karen Gillan still overacts as Nebula. The thing with Nebula in this movie is they give her a little bit more backstory than they did in the first one. I mean, obviously, she's the daughter of Thanos, so it's like, she's competing with her sister, who's Gamora, all the time, and I really like that aspect of her character. When this movie wants to do a character moment over an action scene, it'll take the character moment over the action scene. And I applaud the movie for that. There is not a lot of action in this movie. There are action scenes, and they are glorious to watch. But there is a lot of dialogue and a lot of character building moments, especially between Star-Lord and his father, Ego, played by Kurt Russell. Those were really good scenes. Those were the scenes I was most invested in. The action scenes were pretty cool to watch. It was just an added bonus, though. The thing is, the character development, to me, was the most important part of this movie. James Gunn nailed it. This movie has a lot of heart, has a lot of emotion. By the end of the movie, you're going to want to cry. This movie explores a lot of different relationships. Peter Quill and his father. Peter Quill and his relationship with Gamora. Rocket Raccoon why he steals stuff. You finally find out why he steals stuff. Can Baby Groot actually understand people? Does Drax have feelings? Can he finally understand sarcasm? A lot of these questions are answered in this movie, and it really, really helped bring the movie up a lot. Although the first 20 to 30 minutes of this film are really kind of choppy. It's just jokes galore. Just joke after joke getting thrown at you for 20 to 30 minutes. You just can't help but laugh. But, I mean, it's just, you had to go for jokes. I get it. That's kind of where this movie has the sequelitis thing. It's bigger in that department. It's bigger in the humor department. It's definitely bigger in the character department. I think in the character department, it succeeds. In the humor thing, I think there was a little bit too much at times, especially in this first half hour of the movie. It was just too much to keep up with. Just too many scenes where it was supposed to be taken seriously, and then all of a sudden you're laughing. It's just like, I get that this is what the characters are, and I get that this ragtag group of misfits is a band of misfits that probably wouldn't survive a day in the life of a U.S. Army Ranger trapped in a war. It's just, this movie went for jokes when it could have went for character moments, but went for character moments when it could have went for action, and that's where the movie succeeded. When it went for jokes over character moments, that's where it kind of failed. And now we're gonna get to the biggest problem with the movie, and that is the villains. Yeah, Marvel does not have a good track record for villains. I mean, the thing with Marvel's villains is they're functional, no doubt. It's just they're not very well developed, and the villains in this movie are probably the least developed. They make Malekith from Thor: The Dark World look amazing. The villains in this movie are a bunch of gold people that travel the galaxy to try and track down the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then they just go away for 3/4 of the movie, come back at the end, and they're not the main villains. So I was like, why do we have them in the movie? It's kind of pointless then. This movie sets it up so that they're the main villains, and it's like going this way with them, and then they go away for a bit, and it's like they're circling back, and it's like, nope, totally disregard it. Oh, okay, I guess? I cannot tell you a single thing about these people. So, yeah, I just know that the leader was the High Priestess, and yeah, they have ships that they control from their space station. That's it. Nothing to them. Nothing at all. Yondu in this movie. Awesome. I wasn't a huge fan of Yondu in the first one, but this movie made me a fan of Yondu. Thank you, James Gunn. You are the man. The action scenes are really cool. There are quite a few of them, but they're few and far between. But when everything's going down, it looks pretty good. There are a couple of bad CGI scenes, I thought, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. Nothing looks all that sloppy. And it's just a damn fun time just watching them kick ass and shit. It's just like, this is what I paid to see, okay? Disregard the gold people. And going back to the gold people thing, it's like, yeah, they're weak villains, but at the same time, it's just like, yeah, the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's all you need. They're just the characters in and within themselves. But like I said before, when the movie looks like it calls for an action scene, it skips the action scene. It goes for a character building moment instead, and I appreciated that about the movie. To end the review, my conclusion, this movie is definitely bigger than Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not better. There are a few things in this film that bothered me a little bit more than things did in Guardians of the Galaxy. A couple of characters weren't developed. The villains were really weak. A little too much humor in the first 30 minutes. A couple of choppy scenes here and there in those few minutes too. However, it's definitely not on the lower tier of Marvel movies like I've been hearing it. It's definitely somewhere at the bottom of the top tier of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies, or probably right at the top of the middle tier of Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. Damn fun time. Not as good as the first one, but still really, really fun. I am going to give Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 an 8 out of 10. So that concludes my review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The summer movie blockbuster season of 2017 is now officially upon us. Can't wait to see all of these great movies coming out in summer of 2017, or hopefully they're all good. I want to know what you guys thought of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, so drop me a comment in the comment section below to let me know what you thought of the movie. And you can like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, you're on YouTube, subscribe, my logo will be at the end of this video, along with a couple other videos you can check out, and I'll see you next time.